Hello, YouTubers. This is Tia from Musings of a Mystic, and today I'm musing about a book. RMG. I did this video once, but it was terrible, so I'm doing it again. Okay. Like I said, my name is Tia from Musings of a Mystic. I read tarot cards. If you know anything about my channel, I've got a bunch of tarot pick a card readings on there. I was kind of just like rambling so horribly in my first video about this book that I just decided to write some notes down. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I do personal tarot card readings if that is what you are interested in. My Instago and my email are in the description box below. I will also leave a link for this in the description box below as well. And I accept tips and donations. I think that's it. So I've done like 4 videos today, and in my first couple videos, my lighting sucked, and then the sun came out, and now my lighting is kind of weird anyway. So just got to deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. So on to the book. It is called The Language of the Tarot by Roberta Lee. She pronounces it tarot. Anyway, she's got, I think, Romney heritage. So I mean, whatever. She also has a podcast with the same name. I believe that you can find it on the iTunes podcast. I'm not sure if you can find it anywhere else, but I know that I listened to a couple of the chapters from this book on there. She doesn't have all of them on there, but she does have a lot. Anyway, the language of the tarot. This little thingy reads: a valuable asset for both new and experienced readers, the language of tarot, places particular emphasis on understanding the role of the often overlooked court cards in readings, as well as explaining the different nuances each card takes on when reading in the context of multi-card spreads, with clear directions for applying every card to relationship, financial, and medical questions, as well as an extensive explanation of the common card combinations every reader should know. The language of tarot is a valuable addition to existing titles on the fascinating subject. It has complete interpretations for each card in the deck, instructions for 4 different reading layouts with multiple examples, over 300 illustrations, which I wish were in color. They're all black and white, except for the one on the front. An appendix of common card combinations and their meanings, an appendix of cards of timing and location, full, easy to navigate table of contents, writing in clear contemporary language for today's readers, helpful hints for making tarot part of your life. Now, I like this book a lot because it's everything it says right here. It's a very good book for somebody who wants to learn how to read. And this is one of the books that I bought when I was first trying to learn how to read tarot cards. Should I read this? Yeah. Roberta Lee was born in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and moved to California in the early 70s. She returned to Bucks County in the mid-80s and lived there ever since. Roberta Lee's lifelong interest in tarot has led her to read professionally, teach classes online, and write the language of tarot, which is the culmination of her over 35 years of work with the Oracle. The Oracle refers to tarot cards. Roberta is also a painter and novelist. She is currently completing a series of related paranormal novels, collectively entitled Suburban Sprawl. I believe that is also a podcast that she's got on iTunes. Roberta cordially invites you to visit her at the Roberta at robertaleeart.com to learn more about her books and paintings and to become her fan on Facebook. I don't think I became a fan of hers on Facebook, but I did become a fan of hers on iTunes, the iTunes podcast store, because she does. If you don't know, if you want this book, um, go to iTunes or I think maybe Blog Talk Radio and see if her podcasts are on Blog Talk Radio. But definitely go to iTunes if you have an iPhone or have iTunes on your computer and look at her free podcast. Listen to her free podcast because she's got several of her chapters from here on the cards. On certain cards, she has those on her podcast there. I love it because I used to like listen to it on the way to work when I was trying to learn how to read. All right. I'm not really super impressed by the outside of the book. I don't necessarily like this. I believe it's the tarot spread that she's got there. I don't like that. I don't like just the way the book looks. But do not judge a book by its cover. Do not judge the book by its cover here because then you'd miss out. Table of contents. Chapter 1, you got the basics. Letting tarot teach itself to you, which I'm a big fan of because a lot of it, everybody who reads tarot cards is different. So the meanings aren't going to mean the same thing to you. Like, you can't say this one card means this for everyone because you'll end up just not being a good reader that way because you won't have an individualized outlook on things. You'll just say, oh, everybody who has the devil, that's funny. Everybody who gets the devil card is toxic. Not necessarily so. Sometimes it just comes out to say, oh, this person's Capricorn, or this person's got a situation they're chained to, or so many different meanings for different cards for different people. I like the individualized approach she takes from this, and she also takes from her own personal experience. She's not like, oh, someone once at some point at some time somewhere said this card means that, therefore that's what this card means. She says, from my personal experience, this card means that, and that is why this book is one of my favorites. Anyway, she takes you through choosing a deck for yourself because the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck isn't necessarily the best for everybody. I mean, it's traditional. It's like the base that we go over or we use now. But there are other decks out there, A lot of them are based on the Rider-Waite tarot deck, but it's not necessarily the best for everybody because symbols take on different things and different card types have different symbols and things like that. 3 types of tarot cards. She goes through that. The court cards, which confuses some people. Sometimes it is a person, sometimes it's not. The major arcana reverse cards, which also confuses some people out there. Phrasing questions, which is very important if you're not going to read cards, it's important. Let's say if you're going to pay me for a reading and you phrase a question weird, it's going to make things strange from the jump. Like, oh, just tell me about my future. If you get more specific, it will help you get a more specific answer to a question. More specific to me is better than just general. Know what I mean? I just want to know about my future. Okay, tomorrow you're going to eat breakfast. The cards will tell you that. They'll say, oh, tomorrow you're just going to eat breakfast. And you won't see the freaking rainstorm that's coming. Oh, tell me about the weather tomorrow. That's more specific. And it gives you a more specific answer, and you know more how to prepare yourself. Phrasing questions, mixing the cards, focusing on a question, significators, and clarification cards, cutting the deck, self-reading, doing readings for others, which is just some people can read for themselves, some people can't. Sometimes it just doesn't work. I mean, it works, but the person has to be honest about the message. They can't just be like, oh, my first thought was that this means the devil means that I'm a Capricorn. But you're not a Capricorn. It's toxicity, but just never mind. I'm getting off on a tangent here. I just shouldn't do that. A word about the future, which is very important because the future changes. With every choice you make, the future changes. That's just the truth. Chapter 2, one card readings, doing readings, doing one card reading, doing readings one card at a time, asking having a hard time reading now. Asking the oracle for guidance, the flow, making your reading talk to you. Chapter 3, past, present, future readings, questions for past, present, future readings, creating flow and multi-card readings, overall tone of readings, preponderance of suit, type, or number. It takes you through how to connect the suit, how to connect the type of card to a different card, how to connect this, that, and the fourth. It's just so detailed without being like hard to read that's why I like the book. It's just so mostly upright or reverse cards in readings, card combinations in readings, how to present a multi-card reading, how to start a reading, the heart of a reading. Then it goes through positions, how to read the positions, how to connect the positions, how to do this, that, and the fourth, ending a reading. And she has sample readings that she's done before. And then she takes you through what she just taught you. And then she says, okay, this is how I did it. This is what my answer was. And this is how it ended up like this. Chapter 4, 6-card compatibility reading, separating the deck for a 6-card compatibility reading, 6-card reading. This is one of the spreads. The whole chapter is on that particular spread. Then she's got the Celtic Cross. That whole chapter is on that spread. Her sample reading and how she read that and how she presented it to the person she was reading for. Chapter 6, card interpretations. Then we get to all the separate cards. Starts with the aces, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s. And in each of those little sections, it's just, she does the, like for the 3s, 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, Swords, and Pentacles, and then she moves on to the 4s. So it's not separated in suits. It's separated in numbers and knights, queens. And then she goes to the major arcana and does a separate little section for each of those cards. 7, card interpretations for the court cards, the knights, the queens, the kings. And somewhere in here she does, what if the court card is not a person? Chapter 8, card interpretations for the major arcana card, the Fool through the World. Chapter 9, putting it all together, keeping a tarot notebook, which is kind of important because if you don't do that, then how do you know, how can you go back and see what was consistently what? So it's like consistently for me, the Tower card tends to be somebody who is trying to, something that's very, very unpleasant. I've never had a Tower card pop out for me for it being like a pleasant surprise. It's generally a fight, or I've got to get a tooth pulled, or somebody's trying to be shysty behind my back. So keeping a notebook is very important for you to go back and see what was consistent for you. This card came out, so it was consistently this for me. So that helps you read your cards better because you're like, okay, this is always this for me. But then you can kind of see also, if you do readings for other people, and you keep a notebook for that, you see what was consistent for you reading for other people too, and see how it's different. Putting it all together, we've done that. Learning to speak tarot, online and digital tarot sources, specialized readings for kids, pets, sex, investments, medical readings, and death. That's one thing that is very difficult. It kind of pulls up a philosophical kind of question. Do you want to tell somebody? Like, should you tell somebody that somebody's going to die in their life, or should you keep it to yourself? Most of the time, though, the person that you're talking about dying, it's like their relative, and they already know that the person's got like a chronic issue, and they're just like, we're just kind of waiting to see when it's going to happen. We already know it's going to happen soon, so they're not like surprised most of the time. Sometimes it's a surprise. Then she's got other tarot spreads, caring for your cards, tarot for living, like that's the everyday kind of stuff. I like it because it takes you from buying your deck to learning how to read your deck for yourself, other people through spreads, and then just how to take care of your cards, where to store them, what you should do. And she's not like, you have to do it this way. She's like, this is what works for me. This is what other people do. This is just kind of, a guideline. It's not like, do this. Common topics and tarot card combinations. Now, I don't think I've ever seen that in another book. I've seen it online where they're like, oh, these generally mean this when they come together. These two different cards. Cards that show where something will happen. That's an appendix 2. And then her bibliography. And it's like, that's the end. It's 400 and how many pages? 52. 450 pages of actual content. 51. No, yeah, 51. And then there's the 52 that has her website and stuff. And then that's the end. Woo! I want to show you guys an example of one of her full, the major arcana. So like this is the chapter 8. I folded my pages over. Some people are gonna think I'm a monster for that. I don't really care. She gives you what the chapter is about, introduction to the major arcana cards, and then I'm pulling that back. Then she goes through them individually. So the Fool is the first major arcana card. I don't think she does the Zodiac affiliation in here. I guess that was just not as important to her as other things. But anyway, she gives you the keywords, and then she goes through what the Fool signifies. She says an opportunity. The sense is of some choice that was dropped into the seeker's path to use or misuse, learn from or ignore as she will. Then they're like little paragraphs. Business ratings. The Fool foretells a chance for a promotion or advancement. That's just a short paraphrase. I'm not like reading the whole thing. To read the Fool as advice, tell the seeker that opportunity will soon knock, and she should get ready to answer its call. In romantic readings, the Fool as attraction, meeting of a potential lover. In a reading specifically about sex, the attraction has that animal magnetism component big time. As an outcome card, a favorable opportunity will be presented, and the seeker is being advised to prepare for it. Then she does the reversed, same thing, keywords. Then she says, when it shows up reversed, denotes missed opportunity or carelessness in general. The sense is that the seeker can be either acting like a fool or being treated like one, i.e. being lied to. To read as advice, tell the seeker to watch out for careless mistakes or missed opportunities. In romantic readings, reverse, the Fool implies mixed messages, misunderstandings, and general confusion surrounding an attraction. And then she gives these are combinations with this card that you should watch out for in romantic readings specifically. She says to watch out for negative cards or indications of deceit, such as reversed court cards, the Seven of Swords, the High Priestess, which makes a lot of sense to me. Because if you got the full reversed, and then you got two reversed, and you're asking about a romantic connection, you got it reversed. So you're being treated like a fool, right? And then there are the two people who are treating it like a fool. They're reversed. They're not in their best light here, because reversed court cards are people who are not doing their best. They're not being their best person. Seven of Swords is about deceit, somebody stealing something, lying to you, and the High Priestess is about things that are hidden. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Now, sexually reversed, the card means that the misunderstandings are being carried out in the bedroom. Reversed in the outcome position, the card indicates the potential for carelessness, foolishly missed opportunities. That was just me, like, reading the main bullet points that I saw. This full chapter, it's not really a chapter, it's like a small snippet from the chapter, is full of other stuff that can help you. In the back, this is something that I have not seen in other books, but this is like my favorite book, so this is the one that I go to most of the time. Learning to speak, that's not it. Where are you? Caring for your cards. This is what I like. Common topics and card combinations. And then she, let's just choose one here. For example, depression. Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, the Star. The Star reversed, Strength reversed, Chariot reversed, Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. Those are cards that do generally show up for depression. Financial prospects, good. Good. Ace of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles shows hard work rewarded. Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles is here twice. Interesting. Nine of Cups and the World. Maybe it's that's a semicolon. I just found a typo. Interesting. You don't see a whole lot of those in here, but they are here. Not everybody's perfect. You can't just, expect it to be 100% perfect, but it is a very good book. And then, where is it? There was another one that I wanted to look at. Appendix 2. Cards that show where something will happen. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere else in a book. I think I have seen it online, but I haven't seen it like in a book like this. The Hermit. Alone. While alone. The Chariot. In a car. Family. With family. Ten of Cups. Four of Wands. Game. At a sporting event. Five of Wands. Really? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see that. At home. Four of Wands. Ten of Swords. Really? Ten of Swords? Okay. Odd. Anyway, one of the reasons why I love this book. That's just one of them. So, my review of this book, I hope it was at least kind of helpful to see if this is a good book to help you learn how to read tarot cards. Do definitely go look at her podcast and listen to see if you want this book. I will leave the link for it below. Is there anything else that I missed? Nope, I think I talked about everything. It's detailed yet short. Like the different card snippets are detailed yet they are short. I'm not too impressed with the outside of the book. There are one or two typos, but it's a 452 page book, and there are only like 3 typos that I've seen. Um, definitely a good buy. I think I paid like $27 for it, but it is worth the money. It's one of the spreads that she puts in there. I like how she writes on the card, the little card's position. She writes words to help you remember what that position means. And then she goes into detail about that in the book. Like, oh, she did it like I said, a sample reading, and then she goes through what those cards mean in that position. It's just so detailed without being hard to read. Anyway, that's basically it. I love this book. As you can see, I have kind of beat it up a little bit. That's it. Let me know if you guys like these review videos, and I will do some more. My name is Tia from Musings of a Mystic. I do readings through Instant Go and through email if you would like a personal reading. I also accept tips and donations. I do review books. I do book. I review books. I do review videos, and other videos actually. Like just not. It's not just a tarot channel. It's Musings of a Mystic, not just tarot musings. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ta-ta for now.